Sizzle start and fire fresh ingredients, love in the air. Nourish your body, feel so fine. Healthy living every time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dancing in the Kitchen, a cooking show with a twist. I am your host, Hannah Romanowski, and today we have a very special episode for you. It's Valentine's Day, and so we're going to celebrate love, but a very special kind of love. That's self-love. Because if we're not giving ourselves the love, honor, and respect that we deserve, then we don't have it to give others. So that's what we're going to focus on today, how to take care of ourselves and bring more creativity and joy and delicious food into our self-nurturing routine. And when it comes to the kitchen, self-love is about slowing down, savoring the process, savoring the senses. And today we're going to be making a delicious recipe for you. It's a warm, nourishing butternut squash soup. It's velvety and it's packed with nutrients. It's going to be like a warm hug. So whether you are cooking for yourself today or you're making food with someone you love, here's a chance to really come together and really feel that love from the inside out and share it. We have a very special guest coming on today. I'm so excited to have her on because every time we get together, we talk for hours. And it's because she is so interesting and our conversations go all kinds of directions. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Julie Schlander. So stay tuned. She's going to be coming on pretty soon. But first, I want to share with you a segment of this show that we call Kitchen Muse. For this episode, our kitchen muse is Freya, the Norse goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. She is a powerful kitchen muse, especially for Valentine's Day, because she's a celebration of love and comfort, especially in chilly weather. And that's why we're making a nice warm soup. Freya is associated with sensuality, abundance, and she's the perfect inspiration when it comes to nourishing ourselves and sharing food with loved ones. In Norse mythology, feasting was a communal act that was a celebration of bounty. And Freya's connection to the hearth and home invites us to cook healthy, comforting dishes. Freya was closely associated with feasting and indulgence because rich feasts and offerings were made in her honor. And according to ancient Norse rituals, mead or honey wine was one of her special foods and was used to honor her and receive blessings for fertility and prosperity. Honey was a symbol of sweetness and was sometimes fermented to make mead, which is considered a divine drink in Norse mythology. Freya's connection to abundance made her the recipient of the finest foods during sacrificial feasts. In celebration of Freya, today I want to share with you Freya's golden honey cake with berries. This is a lovely, sweet little cake that's very simple that I made this morning. And it's sweetened with honey, and it has oat flour and almond flour. It has cinnamon and cardamom and butter or coconut oil. It's super easy and delicious. And if you want the recipe, you can go to Dance and Dish on Patreon and you'll see it posted there. We're topping it with berries as well because they celebrate the sweetness of life and also are a nod to Norse culture. So sit back and get ready for a wonderful episode of Dancing in the Kitchen that celebrates love and beauty and joy in our lives and offers ways of how we can provide that nourishment for ourselves. Stay tuned. Let's talk about one of the most beloved spices in the world, cinnamon. This warm, aromatic spice has a rich history that dates back thousands of years and offers remarkable health benefits that make it as valuable today as it was in ancient times. Cinnamon comes from the inner bark of trees in the Cinnamomum family, native to Sri Lanka, India, and Southeast Asia. There are two main types, Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, and cassia cinnamon, which is more common and has a stronger flavor. Cinnamon's history is steeped in mystery and allure. It was so highly prized in ancient times that it was considered a gift for the king and deities. The Egyptians used it in embalming and as a perfume, while the Romans burned it in sacred ceremonies. In the Bible, cinnamon is mentioned as part of holy anointing oil. During the Middle Ages, it became a symbol of wealth and power, with Arab traders controlling its distribution and keeping its origins a closely guarded secret. Eventually, Portuguese explorers discovered cinnamon's source in Sri Lanka, sparking centuries of trade competition. But cinnamon isn't just a culinary treasure, it's a nutritional powerhouse. This spice contains a wealth of antioxidants, particularly polyphenols, which help fight oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. Compounds in cinnamon, namely cinnamaldehyde, help with insulin sensitivity and help lower blood sugar. Cinnamon also supports heart health. Its anti-inflammatory properties help protect against chronic conditions linked to inflammation, such as arthritis. Cinnamon is a natural antimicrobial and antifungal agent. It helps to fight infections and improves overall health. It's also known to soothe digestion by reducing bloating and nausea. From its ancient origins as a coveted treasure to its modern role as a superfood, cinnamon is a spice that has stood the test of time. Whether it's for flavor or health, it's truly a gift from nature. So add some cinnamon to your meals today. Darling, slip into something cozy and listen to this sultry serenade from our sponsors. Welcome back. I'm delighted to introduce you to my guest, Julie Schlander, owner of Healthy Living with Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Hannah.
Julie is a dedicated coach, healer, and teacher who empowers women to transform physically, emotionally, and spiritually. As a chronic illness survivor, she brings a unique depth of understanding and compassion to her work. A lifelong learner, Julie's passion for nutrition, energy medicine, and personal growth fuels her mission to inspire others to live their healthiest, most fulfilling lives. Please welcome Julie. I'm really glad you're here because I know you have so many tricks up your sleeve when it comes to working with people. You have so many gifts and areas of knowledge and expertise. So I want to ask you first, what is something that you recommend for people who are trying to adopt a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah, well, the thing that I would recommend is you just want to keep it simple. All too often people try to make too many different changes, or they go on a very restrictive diet, which cuts out a lot of things, and then they're left having cravings for foods. And really, if you can just simplify the process and get into eating whole foods, your body becomes nourished, and then you get all the nutrients you need, and then you're no longer craving all that packaged food, right?
Yeah, yeah. And well, a couple things come to mind. First of all, you said keep it simple. And sometimes people, they feel like they have to go all in or nothing. And it happens this time of year. We just came out of January and people make New Year's resolutions and they don't last because they fall off. Because why is that? And how does that relate to what you're saying?
Yeah, well, what happens is they get into those restrictive plans, right? And then their body and quite honestly, their thoughts, their mind, they can't stick with that kind of really tight regimen. And I have found for years that when you just focus on eating the real food, your body responds by being filled with the nutrients, filled with, as we've talked about, the love that comes from food.
Yeah.
That's another part of it. But it's something that makes it so that it becomes so much easier when your body is getting the proper nutrition. You feel different.
Right.
And your body will find its own natural set point, and you feel better, you think better, and you move differently in the world.
Yeah, and sometimes that takes time. It just takes making incremental shifts.
Exactly.
And that's all it needs to be, right?
Yes.
Like a little bit every time.
And that's why that's the principle of keeping it simple, is it doesn't have to be this regimented routine that is very strict. It's just give your body what it's meant to have, and over time it responds with gratitude.
Yes, yeah. And this really goes to the concept of what the theme of today's episode is, which is about self-love and what that means. And that means being kind.
Absolutely.
To yourself, and don't not be so strict where you feel like you messed up, and so that's over, because it just does take time. And I wanted to ask, why do you think it's so hard to make that shift to healthy whole foods for a lot of people?
Well, I think that what it comes down to is the way our foods are manufactured. There's a lot of ingredients in there, and quite frankly, there are a lot of chemicals, and they respond differently in our body, and they create that craving that you just can't get past. And it's often because it's not something that you're at fault for it, but it's just part of what has been added into those foods.
Right.
And it's just the more that we can get away from that.
And they've been intentionally added in.
Oh,
yeah.
Unfortunately, they have.
Yeah, to produce those cravings.
Yes. To increase sales.
Right, unfortunately, yes. Yeah, so it's a lot that people are up against.
Absolutely.
And so I think we need to give ourselves some space and compassion around that, because there's a lot of forces that are preventing those changes.
Well, and that's why I think when it comes to the idea of how to treat yourself and your body well, the easiest thing is to just think, was this grown somewhere? Did it come off of a tree? Did it come out of the soil? Is it in its natural state? Because that is like the key point to recognize that this is not something that has been mass produced.
Right. Yes. I also feel that people associate healthy food with food that doesn't taste good, which it's my personal mission to banish that notion. And I have a feeling you feel the same.
Absolutely. Well, and here's the thing that happens with that too, is once you switch to eating more whole foods, your palate changes.
Yeah.
And you can actually taste the foods.
Yes. And how long does that take?
It doesn't take very long. Really doesn't. Like when you, for instance, like at the beginning of the year, people are always giving up sugar, right?
Right.
After the holiday, all those treats. And it takes 3 to 5 days before the sugar's out of your system and that addiction's gone, and the inflammation and all the other things that come along with that sugar consumption. It's gone.
Yeah, it's true. I certainly noticed that when I'm eating less sweets. And I, when it comes to sweets, I eat whole food, nutritionally dense sweets if I'm going to have a sweet. But still, the less I eat, the less I crave it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's certainly the same with alcohol, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. I have more questions for you. What what role does cooking and food play in your own life and in your own health journey? And then I'm going to ask you about your health journey and what brought you to this line of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So food is a big piece for me. I am always cooking. I even at home with my family, sometimes I think I'm a little strange because I don't eat normal breakfast foods.
Oh, what do you eat?
I might be eating broccoli and potatoes and an egg and chard. I mean, it's a vegetable medley,
Right.
and it's something that most people might eat at a different meal. But I eat what feels like it fuels my body.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's been such a big play in my life having a focus on the nutrition because the last couple of years I went through having the debilitating illness of chronic fatigue syndrome. And a big piece of moving me through that healing was the focusing on taking the intentionality to focus on making my meals very nutrient dense.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up and you can share your wisdom today of that process because there's so many people, especially women, that are struggling with all different kinds of autoimmune disease and chronic fatigue. And it's such a puzzle for many people to figure out because doctors don't have all the answers.
Yes. And food is not the only answer to it, but it's one that is critical, and it becomes worse. The symptoms magnify when I fall off of the path, and I notice it dramatically. And so by tuning into my body very closely, that's when I get the feedback. I get information, and if I have sugar, then I don't feel as well.
Right.
So I take that as feedback that my body's giving me the clues that there needs to be something different.
And our bodies are constantly giving us clues.
Yes.
But there's so many reasons that we in this culture are disconnected, and many people don't grow up in environments where they're actually taught to attune to their body.
Yes.
Our body is we suppress the body. We drug the body when it's feeling things that feel out of control. And so there's a relearning that has to happen there. And a lot of people have to relearn to attune to their bodies after going through a process like you went through.
Well, and I also think that attunement, what is so important and invaluable with that is that the individual gets to learn what works for them. Because once again, like there's so many different diets that people can choose from, but it doesn't mean that it's meant for you and for your body or your age or whatever your symptoms, or if there are some medical conditions that are factoring in. So that attunement is what is so important, because that feedback that you get lets you know, does this work for me or is it not?
Right. Yeah, and there's so many messages out there in the media. Oh, doctors say never do this. Oh, this is what you should be doing, and this diet's the diet. And what you say is so true. Like every body is different, and only you know what is right for your body. And so really being empowered by that and tuning in.
Absolutely.
So how do you work with people? What do you do, and what brought you to your work, the work that you do?
So I started in this work over a decade ago when I was in my 40s, and I had what I now know was the beginning of perimenopause. But everything felt disrupted. I didn't know who I was physically and emotionally, and there was so much stress that was going on. And I have always gone to nutrition whenever I feel off in my body, and I go to it and think, what can I do differently? What should I shift here? And in that process, when I was out on the internet looking for things, I came upon a school called the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and I thought, what's this? You know, when you get those little light bulb moments.
Totally. Yeah.
So
all of those.
right.
Yeah.
So off I went to that through that program, and what I really learned there that I took away that I found was so important is that yes, this food is very important for us. It's the foundation, but how we live the rest of our life is also so important to our health. And so it's about that stress reduction. It's about how do you move? What kind of joy do you have in life? What's what fills you, and are you doing those things? What are your relationships like? So I found that to be really expansive in my capacity to be able to work with people, was to include all this other avenues of exploring with clients. And then along the way, I started to realize that some people would do the steps, do the work easily, and other people had lots of challenges. And I began to notice.
You got another little clue there.
That's right. I started to notice that it had to do with their belief systems, which also comes into play with their identity. And so I went through additional training in transformational NLP, which is neuro-linguistics programming. And through that study and through that work, I've been able to, working with clients one-on-one, is to help shift their beliefs and their identity so that whatever they're wanting for their health happens with so much more ease for them. Yes.
There's so many pieces, so many layers and connections.
Yes.
I love everything you just said. And because it's like if you're eating healthy food, but you're stressed and you're stressed about what you're eating, well, that's only the good it's doing is limited.
Right.
And this ideal of what's ideal versus what will heal is actually a more holistic experience, like you're expressing the community, the environment in which we're eating, in which we're living our lives. And then the mental piece, which it sure gets us, doesn't it?
And what it really comes down to is it has to do with the relationships between things. Like, how do you relate to food? How do you relate to yourself? How do you relate to others? And when we can make shifts within our psyche, so to speak, and change things so that we view things differently and we put ourselves into the picture, that all can change.
Ooh, tell me more about that. That's a very intriguing thing you just said, when we put ourselves into the picture.
Yes, because so many women in particular are putting their attention out on others. And when we turn that, and many women, this is where a lot of the NLP work helps, is setting up and revising their programming, their patterning that has been in place for a long time, so that they can find more of a center and find that okayness in doing the things that fortify them, energize them, and make them feel vital and healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I imagine with your clients, so many things come up with relationship with food, and especially with women. But we all have stories from our childhood and certain connections that were made that need to be released or separated, right?
Yes. That's what the process is all about, is working with those old patterns, and then on a neurological level, bringing in new patterns that make it so that the client can have the outcome that they're looking for and have it happen with so much more ease, instead of having to barrel through, hunker down, and put all kinds of willpower behind it.
Right. Willpower is overrated. Well, there's a flow and an ease to the process. And I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Is there like a simple exercise that you could advise people just maybe to crack this door opener a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the simplest things that can be done is to create a picture of yourself in the state that you want to have, like in your desired state. And what's important with this is that this picture, you can do it as well, is if you put your eyes up and to the right somewhere, because this is what's important, is this location of where your eye is, because this is where our brain is storing information for the future. But you can put out a picture of yourself there, and maybe it's around wanting to just keep it simple and eat that healthy food, the whole foods, and maybe it's something like in a month, and you want to say, what do I look like after I've been eating that healthy food for a month? Yeah, right there. And just notice what that comes up, what the visual is for you. But here's the thing, we're going to go a little bit further.
Okay.
I want you to just step inside that version of yourself, slide yourself inside of her, put your toes in her toes spot, breathe with her lungs.
Feel the floor and everything, huh?
Yeah, feel her heart beating. And notice what it's like to be on the inside of her. Because this is creating a visceral response for you here and now. And we're also marking out and creating this future vision of yourself, making it a reality. And while you're in there with her, notice what it feels like. What kind of body feelings do you get? What kind of emotions? Yeah, breathe with her. Yeah.
I feel sweet and bubbly and light.
Yeah, it's all those whole foods. Yeah. And just spend a little time with her. You can notice the things that she's thinking, what she's saying to herself. Yeah. And then what you can do, you can pop on back, come back over here.
Back.
Yeah. So this is a really, really simple exercise, because a lot of people do visualizations, but this brings it about and has you experience more sensations. So you get the visual, you get a sense of feelings, and you get a sense of the thoughts. So it expands that visualization in a way that your system, that your brain knows that this is what we want in the future.
Right.
So that's a little
Wow, thank you. I love that.
Yes, I'm glad you asked.
I have one more question about that, just because I'm curious. What's with the upper right corner?
So we have different, there's different quadrants. I'm putting it in front of my face because there's different spaces.
Okay.
This quadrant over here that is upper right is where we store visual pictures that we want in the future. There's also, to the side over here to my left, is where pictures are stored in the past. So that's why this exercise is important, that your picture is off to the right, because we're letting your brain know this is what I want in the future.
So when people think, you know how people think and then they go like that and they look up, is that related to that?
Absolutely.
Do they usually go to the right?
Our brain is accessing pictures and sounds and feelings all the time.
That's amazing.
It's a little tool that I use in my NLP sessions.
You have lots of tools.
I have lots of tools. It's another way that our body is communicating. Yeah.
Well,
but for the untrained eye, they don't know what's happening, but
you know.
I know.
Great.
Gives me a lot of information.
Yeah. Well, there's so much we don't, frankly, we just don't understand about ourselves and our just how it all, it's amazing. This body, this mind, and how it all works together.
Absolutely.
So there's so much to learn. Well, this is a very serious question.
Oh.
If your kitchen could sing a song, what song would it be?
Well, We're going to go back a few years.
Oh, do tell. I love stories.
Well, the song is Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
Love it.
Because the foods that we eat
Uh-huh.
help to keep us alive.
I love it. Yes. Well, we might have to visit that song a little later in the episode.
I think so.
We might have to invoke the spirit of staying alive. Yes. Stay tuned for that. Is there anything else that you're dying for the audience to know, for our viewers to know? Just and what is coming to you right now?
Be kind to yourself. Be kind.
Yeah.
Women in particular really hold themselves overly accountable to changing and making dietary changes, and they just I see too many women, they punish themselves. There are all the different thoughts that are coming around that are so derogatory.
Yeah.
And that's really the key, is be kind to yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, and just every day just try to do something a little better.
Yeah. I love it. This
Yeah.
beautiful message. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
I feel so complete, and yet we have yet to make the food. So, what are we going to put in this soup? Tell me about the ingredients.
So what we have some carrots.
Ooh.
We have celery, sweet potato, sweet onions, a little bit of ginger, butternut squash. Of course, I've already roasted that, took care of that at home.
All
We have
right.
some spices, little coconut milk, and some vegetable broth.
Oh, fantastic. I love all the orange.
Yes.
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 Yeah, wonderful. So
And-
much beta carotene.
And I love the fact that it's all winter vegetables, because that's one other thing that I really like to do, is try to eat in season.
Yeah, that's so true. It's wonderful. Yeah.
It's not only, it's good for our body because that's what's been grown and what is being produced right now, but it's also better for our budget.
I was about to say that. Yes.
Yes.
And foods like this last forever too. I mean, they last a long time. So in the fridge, less chance of things spoiling too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're just so nourishing. Okay, so we're gonna do all the vegetables together. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
I'm
then-
just gonna go. Are you ready? There we go. So we're adding onion. And how much onion?
We're going to do the whole thing.
Okay, so like a diced onion.
Exactly.
Okay.
That certainly makes it easy.
It certainly does. Yeah. Wonderful. And I love the smell of onion and how it makes you cry.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. It's Tears of Joy because it's allicin. It's an antioxidant. It's so good for your immune system.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that's good this time of year.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's what I think. I'm going to go put this in the pot and I'm going to bring the bowl back. And so next we're going to do the
Ginger would be great to put in that.
ginger. Okay. Well, I'm going to process the other vegetables first because I'll use a different cone for the ginger.
Absolutely. They can all be going in together. So.
We're going to put it all in together. So a nice sweet potato. I love it. So I wanted to ask, could one roast a sweet potato ahead of time as well with the butternut squash?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either way. Because it is a little bit more of a dense carbohydrate, it's
I
going
feel
to.
like putting this on my head.
In the kitchen.
Yes, in the kitchen, we're dancing in the kitchen, we're dancing, staying alive, staying alive. Okay. Can't resist. I see a bowl, I have to put it on my head. Okay, carrots.
Carrots.
Fantastic. And these are wonderful carrots.
I have membership for a farm.
You have a carrot collection.
This is all grown locally in Sonoma County. Incredible farmer.
Yeah?
Yes.
We should have this farmer on the show.
Right?
Yeah, maybe we can go to this farmer's farm.
That was a great idea.
Yeah. I love it because you can smell the carrots.
Well, and they smell a little bit different when they are made
With love.
with love. Yes. Grown with love.
And so many carrots, too. This is going to be delicious.
Well, and this is a natural way of sweetening the soup.
Yes. I'm glad you said that because carrots used to be actually desserts. They were used more often for desserts. And because they're sweet. And in fact, I think we should use carrots for dessert more because then we can enjoy their sweet things and then get all that fiber and get all that nutrition at the same time.
They're also delicious when they're roasted.
Oh, yes. And that really brings out the sweetness. Yes. Well, I do want you to share in a few minutes your process for roasting your butternut squash as well. But I'm going to add the celery.
Yes.
Do you approve, my lady?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can direct me. Here, direct me.
I love how this makes the job so much easier.
I know.
Clay and your
Yeah. Well, and it's fun to cook together.
Absolutely.
And this strings it.
Even better.
All right. So we'll get that out of the way. And I'm going to add the celery and then come back and we'll do, the ginger. Yes.
A little bit of ginger.
Would you mind fishing the ginger out? And, the spoon.
Boy, is that a pot full. You smell that already?
I do smell it already. It's delicious. And now for the ginger. Ginger is so medicinal too.
Absolutely.
Oops. Making a mess. It's okay. Here we go. So about 2 inches.
Yes.
Yes. So far we have how many carrots?
4 carrots.
4 carrots.
1 sweet potato.
1 sweet potato. 1 onion.
1 onion. 2
Yes.
stalks of celery.
2 stalks of celery. Yeah, and if you want to add a little coconut oil to your pan, you can do that before adding these vegetables. And when you do add oil to your pan, you want to heat it up before adding the oil. Otherwise, the oil will stick to the pan. So that's just a tip. All right. Look at all that beautiful ginger. Doesn't that smell good?
Oh, that smells amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good for digestion.
Absolutely.
So many benefits.
Yeah.
So I'm checking our wonderful food. Look at that. It's delish. Has so many nice smells.
Oh my gosh, that smells amazing.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, and we haven't even put the spices in yet.
I know. It warms your room and it warms your heart. Yes. So shall we add the spices?
Yes. So
Okay.
this is a teaspoon of cumin.
All right. Cumin. Beautiful.
And then we also have a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I'm loving these spices.
This really warms it up.
Yes.
And that's perfect. Just give that a little stir to let that all get settled in.
Okay. Beautiful. All you people here today are so lucky because we're going to have this soup together. It's going to be delicious.
Yes. So I think we can go ahead. We'll pour in. This is 4 cups of vegetable broth.
All right. Fantastic. That's 2 cups, and here's the next 2.
We can just give that a little stir.
Okay. So to recap, we have 4 carrots, 1 sweet potato, 1 onion, and then ginger, like 2
1 to 2 inches of ginger.
Yes. And then how many?
Celery, 2 pieces of
2
celery.
pieces of celery.
Teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of
A
cinnamon.
teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of cinnamon.
And then the next all-star that's coming in is the roasted butternut squash.
Wonderful. Okay.
So when I prepare this at home, I use just a flat tray. And I prefer using avocado oil spray.
Yes.
I spray it on the pan first, put the butternut squash on it, and then spray it on top again, and then salt and pepper it. And the reason I like that spray is because I can control how much goes in, and it still gets nice and browned and roasted, but it doesn't feel heavy like a lot of times.
Right.
Doing it with olive oil, it feels like it can be really heavy. So that's my choice.
Okay, I love it.
Yes, and so we have all of that right here. We'll go ahead and add it in.
Put it in.
Would you mind using your little spoon and help me
sure.
scoop?
There we go. Teamwork.
Excellent.
Oh, this looks so delicious.
And then we have a little bit more of spices to add. We have a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper.
All right.
And then there's one more ingredient we haven't put in. Well, we've got the coconut milk too, but we've been actually doing this all along. We're putting in what I like to call vitamin L.
Oh,
And that stands for vitamin love.
yeah. Yes. These things matter. They really do. It's the
Absolutely.
intention and attention that we're putting into our food preparation.
Yes.
Say more.
Well, however we show up when we're cooking, I believe that energy that we show up in the kitchen shows up in our food. And so if we're coming in with a cranky attitude and we're chopping away and we're cranky, I think it has something to do with transfers into the food. But when you can come in and find joy in cooking, you can find the pleasure in cooking, and you add in your own vitamin L, it shows up in the food.
I love that.
Yes.
Very much.
Yes. And so suddenly we've been doing that all along.
We certainly have. We had the power within us all along.
Yes.
So what about those people that might say, hey, when I've had a frustrating day at work, there's nothing that helps me more than banging on my food and shopping and getting my aggression energy out.
Well, I say just go take it somewhere else.
Okay.
I've raised 3 boys. We had a punching bag in the garage.
Well, that's good.
There's other places to get.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So you're a real advocate for, yeah, I agree. Of course.
The
Yes.
spouse.
Okay.
So we'll add the last bit in here?
Yeah, so we're also going to blend this.
Yes.
So we add this and then we're going to blend it after it softens a little bit.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's add it in then. Why wait? Beautiful. So this will take a couple more minutes to soften, and then we'll be adding the blender. All right, so let's blend it. And I love immersion blenders because taking a big pot of soup and putting it in your standing blender, it's a recipe for
Disaster.
potential disaster. Yes.
And
So
you make
these are
another big dish
great.
that you've got to wash.
Exactly, right. So let's go ahead and do our little blender. We should be dancing. feel that this is blended enough. What do you think?
It's looking really good.
Okay,
It's
shall we
looking-
taste it?
I think so.
Okay, let's taste it. Oh, here's a spoon. Ready?
Excellent.
Okay,
Let's
go
see.
for it.
I like to smell it first too.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, wow.
Feels very warm and nourishing.
Yeah.
I was expecting that.
Well, can you smell the cinnamon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah. I love it.
Yes. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
You know what? I had an idea.
What's that?
It's Valentine's Day. I think we should have a Galentine's party.
What a great idea.
I know, right? Let's do it. You're not busy, right?
I'm not busy.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let's just make it happen.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Okay, ready?
Okay, wait, hold on. How many times? Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is such a lovely Valentine's Day party.
I'm so glad to be celebrating with you.
Me too. I'm so glad to be here with you, Julie. So what do we have here? We have our Freya honey cake. Yum. With raspberries. We're going to have that for dessert.
Yes, they look amazing.
I love it. Yes, and we have our pomegranates, which are just a symbol of sensuality and fertility. And for me, that's creative fertility.
Yes, I was gonna say. I think we're past that point.
Exactly. But anyway, so they're associated with Aphrodite, who also is a muse of Valentine's Day. And then we have our lovely drink of adaptogenic herbs.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Fantastic. And then, of course, we have our wonderful soup.
Let's
Okay. It smells so good. There you are.
For you.
Oh, yum. All right. Cheers.
Oh,
I love it.
yes.
It's so good.
To self-love.
It's a warm hug. It's a warm hug in a bowl. So, Julie, now that your mouth is full, I have another question for you.
Yes.
If people want to work with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yes. So my website at my business, Healthy Living with Julie, you can find me online, and I support people in long-term one-on-one coaching programs, 6-month minimum. And then I do the NLP sessions, and I also do group programs. So there's many different ways that you can work with me.
That sounds wonderful. A lot of great options.
Yes, and as a free gift for all of you, if you go onto my website, you will find a PDF downloadable version of my 10 favorite soups.
Oh,
And this one is in it.
Oh, wonderful. So people can get that from your website, and they can get the recipe for this soup. And did you say 9 other favorite soups?
Absolutely.
I love that, because soups are like blended warm salads.
Well, and they don't always have to be blended. Like I started off this winter, and it's been one of my goals is I make a new soup, a different soup every week.
That's great.
Yes, and I love it because
Well,
I
they're
get
easy.
they're easy.
They're not hard. You just throw it all together.
Absolutely. And then it's like lunch is ready.
There you
Dinner's
go.
ready.
There you go.
Great
love it.
leftovers.
Yeah, and that's being very kind to yourself, because you're you're planning your meals. It's a way of batch cooking. So cook less during the week and eat something that you can have all throughout the week.
Great tips.
Love it. We're
Yes.
full of great tips here. And now it's time for our raffle. And today we have a gift certificate, $100 gift certificate to the Natural Grocery Company in El Cerrito, California. This is a real treat. I've been to that store and there's so many delicious, wonderful, high quality foods there. And they have a great chocolate selection too, if that's your thing. So it's time for our raffle. I'm gonna dig my hand in and work a little magic like this. Da-da-da.
Who's it gonna be?
It's Chad.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. You
Oh.
enjoyed this.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. What are you gonna buy?
Oh, soup stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
That
Love
good
the soup.
answer is buying all the ingredients for the soup.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Right.
you. Thank you for joining us on Dancing in the Kitchen. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we talk all about chocolate.
Healthy living made easy. We cook it up and keep it breezy. From your kitchen to your plate. Good vibes get away. Healthy living made easy. Taste the joy, it's all so cheesy.
Happy Valentine's Day.